Good morning, grade 5s. Our lesson for today is going to be on examples of physical features of South Africa and how some of them got their names. And as usual, before we go on to our next activity or our lesson, we need to work on our corrections. Our last activity was on page 39 and you're supposed to do activity 11. These are the answers. Please mark in pencil. If you got any of these wrong, please write the corrections in pencil. So like I said, our lesson for today is going to be on physical features of South Africa and how some of these got their names. We've been dealing with physical features, and I'm assuming now that you understand what physical features are. Our first physical features will be the physical features that we find at sea level. So we've got our capes and our bays at sea level. We've also got the river mouth at sea level. Cape, like I said last time, is a piece of land that goes or juts or extends into the sea. The Cape Peninsula, for example, or the Cape Point in Western Cape is a good example. Okay, this is an aerial view of what the Cape Peninsula looks like, or the Cape Point looks like. And when we come to the map here, everybody just talks about the Cape Point, and we don't know what exactly or where exactly it is. So our Cape Point is here. Can you see that this land here is jutting into the sea? It's extending into the sea. Alright, it goes right into the sea. So that is our Cape Peninsula there. Alright, so now you have an idea of what a cape would look like on a map. Our next slide is talking about the bays. Alright, and I've managed to get a few pictures of a few bays in South Africa. There are quite a lot of them. Look at this Jeffreys Bay here. Can you see that curve? Remember we said that the bays create that curve or that dent on the coastline. So we've got our Jeffreys Bay here, and then we also have Mussel's Bay here. The Jeffreys Bay is found in the Eastern Cape, and our Mussel's Bay is found in Western Cape. Alright, and when we look at the map, here is Mussel Bay, and there's a little curve that goes into the map, and then here we've got our Jeffreys Bay. Jeffreys Bay also goes in like that. So next time when you play, for example, Monopoly, and you get to Kemps Bay, which is somewhere here, Kemps Bay is a feature on the game Monopoly, and every time you just buy this, you must know what you're buying next time. Next time you play that game and you land on Kemps Bay and you want to buy that property, you are actually buying that dent or that curve into the coastline. Alright, then we move on to the next one, the river mouth at St. Lucia in KwaZulu-Natal. We said that a mouth is where the river ends or where the river enters the sea. You can see that river there that's coming from Lake St. Lucia, and then this river comes in and goes straight into the sea. So that point there where the river goes into the sea, we call that the river mouth. Alright, and if we look at it on the map, it looks like this. Okay, there is your lake there, and then the river continues into the Indian Ocean at that point, and we call that the river mouth. Alright, then our next one is the mountains, uKhahlamba Drakensberg Mountains. This mountain here forms a border between Lesotho and KwaZulu-Natal. So there is our Lesotho there, and Durban or KwaZulu-Natal is on this side. So this mountain range, a range of mountains, a number of mountains that are joined together, we call that a range. So this range of mountains is actually dividing Lesotho from KwaZulu-Natal. It forms a border, and Ukahlamba is a Zulu word meaning the barrier of spears. Okay, if you look at this mountain here, it's like it's got spears. Okay, so it got its name from the Zulu nation, and they called it Ukahlamba. And then Drakensberg comes from the Dutch explorers. The Dutch explorers, remember, were exploring our land way some time back, and when they got to this mountain, they actually admired the mountain, they loved the mountain, and they called it the Dragon's Mountain or Drakensberg. Okay, so Drakensberg means the Dragon's Mountain. And then we have the Waterberg Mountains in Limpopo, and Waterberg means mountain of water, and this mountain gets its name from what happens around it. Its name describes the many rivers and inland lakes and streams within its borders. So around this mountain here, there's lots of rivers, there's lots of lakes, and there's lots of streams, and that's where the mountain got the name Waterberg from. And then we have our Table Mountain. Table Mountain is found in Western Cape, and it gets its name from the shape of the mountain. You can see that this mountain looks like a table, and that's where it gets its name from. So our mountains are very important, and we've got some mountains here that have drawn people from far and wide just to come and see what kind of mountains we have in South Africa. And then our last feature is rivers. We've spent a lot of time talking about rivers, and now we need to see if we can identify these rivers on the map, and at the same time, if they've got their name from somewhere, we can actually talk about the name as well. So the Haripur Orange River is the longest river in South Africa. It starts here around the Drakensberg Mountains, and then it flows right through to the other side. So it almost starts on the one side of South Africa and flows through right up to the other side of South Africa and into the Atlantic Ocean. Its source is on the Drakensberg Mountains. Can you see this range here is our Drakensberg Mountains? And remember, we said that all our rivers flow from a high point to a low point. They flow downhill. They don't flow uphill. So if we are saying that our Orange River starts here along the Drakensberg Mountains, this is a very high place. Remember that map that we talked about before? It had different colors, but this one doesn't have those colors. So I'm expecting you to know which is the highland and which is the lowland. So if our Orange River starts here and goes down that way, so which direction is it flowing? Remember last time we had our height above sea level. This picture doesn't give us heights above sea level, but I taught you how to find the direction of the river flow using the tributaries. Remember, we said the tributaries were the small rivers that enter the main river. Alright, so there we've got small little tributaries coming into the main river. We've got small little tributaries coming into the main river. So if you are asked which direction is the river flowing, then you would look at the angle at which these little tributaries enter the Orange River. There is your Orange River there, So which direction is it flowing? Look at that small tributary, complete the arrow, so we know it's flowing that way. Look at that small little tributary, complete the arrow, then we know it's flowing that way. There is another tributary, complete the arrow, we know it's flowing that way. All right, and then our next river is the Limpopo River, and the Limpopo River is the second longest river in South Africa. There is our Limpopo River. Can you see? It goes all the way up to there. Okay, and our Limpopo River flows through Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Mozambique. Limpopo creates a border between Botswana and South Africa. Can you see? It separates Botswana from South Africa. It also separates Zimbabwe from South Africa. This picture here is a picture of the Limpopo River, and it's separating our two countries. This side you've got Zimbabwe, and on that side you've got South Africa. So if you want to cross over to the other side, you have to go over this bridge here, and underneath flows your big Limpopo River. All right, then we have the Vaal. The Vaal is a northern tributary of the Orange River, northern tributary of the Haripur Orange River. Okay, so Orange River, Haripur Orange River, we're still referring to the same river. The Vaal is a northern tributary. So we come here to the map, there is our Vaal, and it's called the northern tributary. Okay, put our compass points there. Oh, the Vaal comes from the north. Okay, so it's a northern tributary of the Orange River. So if you follow the Vaal, it goes into the Orange River from the north. And we are told that from Mpumalanga it flows for 1,210 kilometers southwest to its confluence with the Orange River. Okay, so it will flow from Mpumalanga, it's flowing all the way until it gets to its confluence. Can you see the Orange River is here, and there is our Vaal, and we are saying where the two meet. Remember, we called that point confluence. All right, so you are able now to identify certain physical features on the map without me telling you what is happening. And then at that point where these two rivers meet, we are in a position to identify the direction of the Orange River. Okay, it can't flow this way because it's starting on the Ukahlamba, Drakensberg Mountains, which is a high point. So it can only flow that way. And if we haven't been given the heights, you know what to do. Create that imaginary arrow with the tributaries, and you will be able to find which direction it's moving. All right, so that is our activity for today. There is no homework. I just wanted you to be able to identify these features on a map and be in a position to understand the geographical terms that we use when we describe physical features and everything else that goes with it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.